Silent Rage, Unmasking the Hidden Impact of Anger. Hi, I'm Anna Mullar, here at the Mind Reset Room. Today, we're going to dive into something many of us ignore or underestimate: anger as a mental health issue. If you've ever struggled with anger that feels out of control or just too overwhelming, stick with me. This might be exactly what you need to hear. We often think of anger as this big, explosive emotion, and while it can be, it often hides beneath the surface, simmering quietly and impacting our lives in ways we might not even realize. This, my friends, is what we call silent rage. Over time, if we don't address this silent rage, it can manifest in ways that affect our relationships, our work, and even our physical health. So, let's uncover the hidden signs of silent rage, and more importantly, learn how to understand and manage it. Snapping, the telltale sign of frequent irritability. Let's talk about the first sign of silent rage: frequent irritability. Have you ever found yourself snapping at people over small things that normally wouldn't bother you? Maybe you're impatient in traffic, easily frustrated by a coworker's habits, or you find yourself arguing with loved ones over seemingly insignificant matters. This irritability, my friends, is often a sign that anger is brewing beneath the surface. It's like a tea kettle whistling, a signal that things are heating up internally. And just like that tea kettle, if we ignore the whistling, eventually, it's going to boil over. Now, we all experience moments of irritability. It's a normal human emotion. But when it becomes a frequent occurrence, when you find yourself on edge and easily triggered, that's when it's time to pay attention. Because this constant state of irritability can take a toll on your relationships, your mental well-being, and even your physical health. So what can you do about it? Well, the first step is acknowledging it. Recognize those moments when you're feeling irritable and try to understand the triggers behind them. Are you stressed, overwhelmed, sleep-deprived? Once you identify the root cause, you can start addressing it and finding healthier ways to manage your emotions. When anger turns physical, recognizing the body's signals. Now, let's move on to the second sign of silent rage: physical symptoms. You see, anger isn't just an emotion we feel in our minds. It affects our bodies too. When we suppress anger or bottle it up, it can manifest in various physical ways. Think about it. Have you ever noticed that when you're angry, your muscles tense up, especially in your shoulders, neck, or jaw? Maybe you get headaches more frequently, or you experience digestive issues like stomach aches or indigestion. These, my friends, are all telltale signs that anger is impacting your physical well-being. Our bodies are incredibly intuitive, and they often send us signals when something isn't right. And when it comes to silent rage, those signals often manifest as physical discomfort. We might feel a tightness in our chest, a racing heart, or even experience insomnia. The important thing to remember is that these physical symptoms are not to be ignored. They are our body's way of telling us that something is off balance, that we need to pay attention to our emotional health. By recognizing these physical manifestations of anger, we can start addressing the root cause and find healthier ways to cope. Chapter 3: The Avoidance Trap, when silence fuels the fire. Let's talk about the third sign of silent rage: avoidance. Now, this might seem counterintuitive, right? We think of anger as something explosive, something we express outwardly. But often, silent rage leads us to avoid conflict altogether. We bottle things up instead of addressing them head-on. We avoid difficult conversations. We shy away from expressing our true feelings, and we tell ourselves that it's easier to just keep the peace. But here's the thing: avoidance only makes things worse in the long run. When we constantly suppress our emotions, they don't just disappear. They fester and grow stronger beneath the surface, like a pressure cooker waiting to explode. And eventually that pressure will find a release, often in ways that are unhealthy and unproductive. We might erupt in anger over something seemingly insignificant, or we might direct our anger inwards, leading to feelings of resentment, bitterness, or even depression. So, how do we break free from the avoidance trap? It starts with honesty with ourselves and with others. Instead of bottling up your emotions, find healthy ways to express them. Talk to a trusted friend, family member, or therapist. Journal your feelings, engage in physical activity, or explore creative outlets that allow you to release pent-up emotions in a constructive way. Chapter 4: Isolation, when anger builds walls instead of bridges. And finally, let's talk about the fourth sign of silent rage: isolation. When we're consumed by anger, it can be challenging to connect with others. We might push people away, withdraw from social situations, or isolate ourselves out of fear of lashing out or hurting those we care about. This isolation, my friends, is a defense mechanism. It's a way of protecting ourselves and others from the intensity of our emotions. But while it might feel safe in the moment, in the long run, isolation only intensifies our anger and deepens our sense of loneliness. Human beings are social creatures. We thrive on connection, on sharing our experiences and emotions with others. And when we isolate ourselves, we deprive ourselves of that vital support system. We create a cycle of negativity where our anger feeds our isolation, and our isolation fuels our anger. So, how do we break free from this cycle? It takes courage, but it starts with reaching out. Connect with someone you trust, someone who can offer a listening ear and a compassionate heart. Join a support group, seek professional help, or engage in activities that bring you joy and connect you with others. Reclaiming your power, moving from rage to resilience. Have you ever experienced what I'm talking about? That feeling of silent rage that you can't seem to shake off? I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences. Drop a comment or message us directly. Let's start the conversation. Anger doesn't have to control you. By understanding it, expressing it, and addressing its roots, you can regain control over your emotional well-being. Remember, you're not alone in this journey. Whether it's through mindfulness practices with Lucas Silva or Dr. John Hart's guidance on therapy, we're here to help you find peace. If you want more insights on managing anger or other mental health topics, check the link in my bio for additional resources, and be sure to explore more videos from the Mind Reset Room. There's always something new to learn. Thank you for being here today. Remember, understanding your anger is the first step toward transforming it into something positive. Let's reset our minds together.